So you took like calculated risk and also you risk that you did like a smart risk and then also like keep on improving, like keep on changing yourself. Like how do you track your change, if I don't mind asking?
And so quite often what I'll do is most years, I like to journal. I like to write journal entries. So I think about things and I'm writing down my thoughts about it and where I want things to go.
Some people want to become and they don't become, and some people feel like they have that good skill and they will become, and some people will become out of the blue because of the board choices. So you took like calculated risk and also you risk that you did like a smart risk and then also like keep on improving, like keep on changing yourself. Like how do you track your change, if I don't mind asking?
How do I do what with change?
How do you track your change? Like some people do like every year, I want to accomplish these goals, personal goals as well as professional goals. And how did you track your change?
Yeah, great question. Yeah. In terms of tracking changes, I've always like set goals for myself, and I've always like thought about like what do I want to accomplish in any period of time. I think for me, I felt like you always need to have some idea what you want to accomplish and what you want to achieve in your life and year by year. And so quite often what I'll do is most years, I like to journal. I like to write journal entries. So I think about things and I'm writing down my thoughts about it and where I want things to go. Then towards the end of most years, I will do a reflection and I'll think about what are the things that I want to accomplish in the coming year. I reflect on the previous year and then I think about the coming year. And so that helps me as I make changes. Then I think about why I'm considering a change, what I want to accomplish through that change, and then kind of measure myself against that. There's a really good book written by Clayton Christensen about how will you measure your life. Actually, it's a very good book to read. And it talks a little bit about this sort of stuff, like what's important to you and to make sure that what you do in terms of changes you make in your life are in alignment with what's important to you. It could be different person to person, but that's one way to track it is to know what's important to you, what are you trying to accomplish, and then measure yourself against that to make sure that you're doing what you'd like to be doing in your life.
Interesting. Like one thing I liked about your change is like it matches similar to one of like my favorite entrepreneurs, like VC's, Eric. So he also had a similar way of tracking. He does this every month and he has like a feedback. So what made that change happen? Or like this is where I want it to be. So I did like my birthday video as goals. After like him saying that, like I started doing that, and like now I'm seeing like a lot of people who are very motivated. They track their progress as well as change and they give feedback through time. That is very interesting to know. I will read the book you recommended because I'm similar to you. Like I like smart risks and very like I never stayed at like one house more than a year since 9 years old. So like change was like happening throughout time, and like listening to you, like you moving from England to here, it was very interesting because like US challenges you as a person when you move from one country to here. No matter what, it kind of like either keeps you grounded or it keeps you, if you could break your ground, you would accelerate really quickly. That's what I observed.
Yeah,
And
I think it does help. It can be disruptive too, and it can be like there's a downside to the change, right? And so you have to be careful it's not too much because it can be too disruptive on your life, especially when you're young. But then, but calculated, like you said, you said it's smart risks and calculated risks, and then making the change that makes sense once you thought it through.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like find your passion, also make changes with that. Take your strengths with you and lessen your weaknesses. That's
right.
When did like the other question would be like, when did it open up to you the possibility of being the role of a CEO? Like when you wanted to become, because like some people want to become and they don't become, and some people feel like they have that good skill and they will become, and some people will become out of the blue because of the board choices. So when did possibility of being a CEO started for you?
Well, I had always thought about starting a company. And so that has been on my mind since I first started my career. As I graduated from UC Davis and went to work, my goal was like learn some things and then eventually start a company. That was on my mind. I was in Silicon Valley at the time. It bobbled in my head multiple times. And so, naturally, if you're starting a company, you're going to run the company and you're going to be the CEO of that company. If you're or a founder at least. But possibly CEO. I always had a technology mind, but also a business mind. So I always drove decision through a business lens. So it was always on my mind that I could lead organizations and teams. And so through my career, I had lots of opportunities to lead teams. I never did
Mhm.
start my own company. That was one thing I never did do. Just I had enough good opportunities anyway. And there were sort of entrepreneurial opportunities I had to start like the National Instruments operation. I started that. It was sort of in fact, I think they knew that I had an inclination towards leading teams, and they said, "Hey, you're going to be the mini CEO of this company here."
Oh,
And
wow.
I was for the RF operations out of National Instruments, and so it was sort of like that. So it was there, and so I never really thought too hard about becoming a CEO of a company like Mini Circuits.